Hello, I've come out to talk to you today about the difference between skills and techniques in sport, and in particular in kayaking. So we're going to be looking at the skills for kayaking, the skills you need to be able to kayak properly. And that's, well, the 8 skills we're looking at is completing a warm-up before you go paddling, getting onto your paddleboard or kayak safely, using a paddle correctly, and then moving forwards, stopping and turning, being able to paddle for 200 meters. That's not too far, that's quite doable. And then the last one is being able to wobble your kayak slightly. Now they're all the skills we're going to be using, okay, which you need to be able to do. But we need to consider the technique. So each of those skills has got a set of techniques that goes with it. So for example, when you're paddling forwards, how are you holding the paddle? Whereabouts are you holding it? Are you holding it correctly? Are you putting the blade in the water correctly? Are you doing the proper stroke? Are you putting in at the right point and taking out at the right point? So all things like that you need to consider. And you can see I'm just sitting on the river, the beautiful River Exe. I'm just down in the city centre, and the current, there's not very much current, it's very gently turning me around every now and again, which is really quite pleasant actually. So for example, when you first get in the boat and you have to paddle off, how are you sitting in a kayak? Are you sitting up nice and straight? Are you holding the paddle with your arms shoulder width apart? They're all the techniques. Now there's many more than the ones I've just mentioned there, and we can have a look at all those. But you need to talk about the skills and the techniques. Why this is important, anyone can sit in a kayak and make it go forwards, or a paddleboard and make it go forwards. But are you doing it in the most efficient way, which won't lead to your injury, and also which won't lead to you using up way more energy than you need to? Because there's no point you slapping away at the water with all your energy when it could be done much more easily just using a nice technique of dipping the paddle in, pulling it back, and then on you go. So we're going to look at the techniques and the skills, and you need to describe which techniques go with the skill, and you've got to be using them as well. So when we go out tomorrow, or when we go out, this film isn't actually the next day, but anyway, but when we go out the next day, there'll be some things there for you to have a go at, okay? So good luck and have fun, because kayaking and paddleboarding is a lot of fun, and if it's something you can learn to do, you can hire them here in places, so there's a lot of fun you can have with them. Okay,